certain movies have stood out in the history of Bollywood. Mughal-e-Azam, Sangam, Pakiza. There are a number of other movies, Sholay. So these were movies which pushed aside all other movies and stood out as single specimens of their own kind. What is it that made these movies different? Not just one factor, but a number of qualities of these movies. Mughal-e-Azam had a very large scale. It had a story which was very relevant at that time. It had great actors, beautiful songs, and big sets prepared for this movie. Pakiza won by its music, by Meena Kumari's acting, and the type of scenes that were created. Sangam had unique music. The music was given out before the release of the movie, and a huge expectation built up. Actors were the top actors of that time, and the story was a love triangle. Sholay won by Gabbar Singh and by a number of other factors. For example, the creation of a town which gave the feel of a life lived in a village by the side of big dacoits. So there is always something, a small concoction of qualities, factors, which makes a movie stand out. Dhurandar has emerged as one such movie. When I first saw the advertisement for Dhurandar, that was the day before it was released, I was watching The Big Boss and suddenly an advertisement came. 3 very big actors, and the name Dhurandar suggested that it would be something like Dabang. So it was with that expectation that I went to see the movie. But what started was totally different and very, very gripping. For even 1 minute, I did not get distracted from the story. I could not guess what is going to help next. I could not breathe away from the narrative. So it was absolutely gripping. What I liked the most perhaps was its background music. For me, because of my interest in music, background music is always a very important part of any film. But this movie absolutely scores by its background music. It has been composed in such a way that there are a number of instruments, synths, drums, everything, and these are arranged in such a way, such a beautiful way. There is such a mix. Somebody has done a fantastic job. The spacing of different instruments is absolutely beautiful. And then there are synths which suddenly throw a kind of a sudden thud. So this is a marvelous job done by somebody. Second factor which I think makes the movie very great is that it is a movie with focus on the story rather than on the hero. Generally what happens is you have a movie by Shah Rukh Khan or Salman Khan or somebody else, and you know that the movie is going to revolve around that individual. It's not going to have a story. The story will be just incidental. The main focus will be on the hero. And you can anticipate what is going to happen. For example, there is a Chulbul Pandey. He's going to fight with a villain. There is, for example, this 2 movies came about the raid. So you know that there is going to be a raid and there is going to be resistance and there is going to be fights. And finally, the hero is going to win out. But there was no such formula in Dhurandar. Another thing which impressed me deeply was the recreation of Lyari. When I saw the movie, I thought that somebody has gone to Pakistan and filmed it. But since that might not be practical, so I thought that perhaps the producer, the director, they would have hired somebody to take visuals and send them to India. And then these visuals would have been used with a green screen to juxtapose with the actors. So it was so real that it was difficult to imagine that it was not an actual scene from Lyari. Every small detail was built up in such a way. So it was amazing to come to know that Lyari had been recreated for this movie. So that's what gives an absolutely convincing touch, very appealing touch in a movie at a time when one often sees the computer designs, computer generated scenes and all that. So there is a lot which is different in this movie, and that is how it stands alone. There have been different reactions. Some people are upset by the movie. Some people say that it has presented a masculinity, as if that masculinity is being shown for the first time. In fact, the masculinity in this case is much more logical because it is the masculinity of gangs, gangsters. It is not the masculinity of the hero who defies the system, kills people, injures them, breaks their bones. So it's a very different kind of masculinity. So I couldn't understand why some people have made this comment. Secondly, some people have said that this projects a particular community in a negative light. I again don't understand how is the community involved in this. There is no focus on any particular community, not even a focus on a country. It is a focus on gangs. A similar movie could have been made about India, Gangs of Wasseypur, or there are movies like this where there are gang fights. So those gang fights do not reflect on the entire nation or on the entire community. So why are people critical about this? I am not able to understand. I think it's a very great work of art. Another thing perhaps which has upset people is that it brings references to terrorism in India, and therefore it is propaganda. In fact, the movie starts with an incident which relates to the BJP time. 2 incidents, in fact. First is that Kandahar hijacking, then the attack on Parliament. Those were 2 very major incidents, and they have been shown they belonged to a period when the BJP was in power. Therefore, to say that it is a propaganda movie on behest of so-and-so or so-and-so party doesn't make sense at all. Whatever has been shown by way of incidents of terror have been very, very major incidents about which the country has to be concerned. So, to expect to downplay these incidents it seems to be motivated by something which is totally undesirable for a country. So, why are some people talking like this? I'm not able to understand. Dhurandar is one of the very few movies which I have seen in theatre twice. I want to go and see it again. It's very impressive to hear its sounds coming from different directions of the hall. It's absolutely amazing. So whoever has done this job is a great musician, and the team of director, story writer, actors, everybody has done a great job. Everybody is talking about Akshay Khanna. His acting is superb, as always it has been. And of course others have also done very well. Ranveer Singh's role was such that he was expected to brush himself down. So for the hero to act as a non-entity was a very great challenge, and he has performed that challenge. He has met that challenge extremely well. Rakesh Bedi has done a superb job, absolutely amazing. I had never expected. I had seen him in minor roles here and there, but for him to bring out a character so beautifully was amazing. Sometimes he twists his lips in such a way that it becomes very, very meaningful and highly expressive. Absolutely amazing acting. Sanjay Dutt, of course, is a seasoned actor, and his appearance goes very well with the role that he plays. He has done very well. Sara has done her role very well. So everybody is amazing. One of the greatest movies that have been produced in India. Congratulations to Mr. Dhar and his team. Thank you very much.